Happy birthday, John Lennon. You would have been 85 years of age had you lived. Today, October 9th. I've just popped in to share whatever is in the cascades of my mind with you. Just little things that have occurred to me as I'm getting on a bit now, you know. I'm not going to say my age anymore, but I'm in the 60s now. And it's weird kind of an age. Because in lots of ways, I've never felt younger than I do now. Whereas, of course, I can see perhaps what's ahead of me as well. And in that vein, I would just like to share a few thoughts, as I said. And it's this largely. Never get too entrenched, you know, in one position. I mean, if you're looking at the political spectrum, be you radical left or far right and all that kind of thing, and never the twain shall meet. Because age and aging and time is a great leveler. And you will see many as the example of, for instance, you know, flower power, hippie businessmen who wanted to stick it to the man until they became the man themselves. Point in case would be somebody like the late Steve Jobs, who was a hippie into his, you know, his natural food and whatever, and trips over to India. And then maybe Richard Branson as well, who would have been, you know, the epitome of the kind of hippie life. Now he still eschews that kind of cavalier thing, but ultimately he's a capitalist. He's a businessman. So if they can change, so can you. So don't lock yourself too much up in one way of viewing things, because life isn't about necessarily that. It's I think by its nature it's evolving, and there's a fluid aspect to it. So don't get too radical either way, I'd say. It's strange because you will find, as I said, you know, not only like the hippie becoming conservative, but you'll find people that were kind of Alf Garnett or you know, if you go back further, Archie Bunker, you know, in this kind of, you know, small-minded or Little England or British kind of thing that used to go on, this kind of mindset. And as they get older, they become mellower and nicer. And, you know, the proof of that is how many grandparents do we know who are great with their grandchildren or younger people in general. And the younger people who generally will wipe you off the face of the earth in terms of what you stand for, when it comes to the grandparents, they'll actually think they're quite cool. And the reason for that is, I think, as the grandparents get older, they kind of know what's ahead of them, and they want to share in a non-dogmatic way, and laissez-faire. They let it all hang out, and they get on great with the kids. And they're cool with the kids. The kids are cool with them, and that's how it should be. I woke up the other morning and I was listening to the radio. And there's a broadcaster of renown in Ireland. And as always a kind of wannabe radio person, it wasn't a jealousy thing. I used to just go, I could do better than him. Jesus, he's got the personality of a snail on Valium. Christ. And I listened with new ears as I woke up, and I went, jeepers, he's quite good. His style might be different than mine, but I'm able to, you know, comprehend what he's saying. He's saying it in a very pleasant manner. And why was I such a gobshite all these years? Other people could see it in the guy. There was stability there. I used to go, oh, if you had a national flag, it would be a piece of grey flannel. Fuck you. Get off the fucking air. Jesus, where are we hang on, this guy is professional. He's a good guy. And that was a revelation to me. I said, gee, I never would have given him the time of day before. I was going to go waste of space. And that, you know, you have to say as well, if you ever feel like that about people or whatever, you have to say, well, hold on. He's doing it. You're not. You know, and these are harsh home truths, but they come to you. Just like the way I said truths. Is it truths or truths? Anyway, you know, you get older, you kind of get mellower. That's just the point I'm making. And it all started today for me because I was sitting down here doing what I do, which is voiceover. And it was one of these, come on, get your tickets now, da-di-da-da-da-da. It was one of these shouty announcement, call to action type things. And I'm doing my call to action and I'm going, without the aid of a safety net, for one night only, get your ticket. Anyway, you got the gist of it. And I thought to myself, I remember pulling up outside a radio station. I was on the road as a salesperson, but I was always trying to get in and out of the radio. And I pulled up outside the station one day to go in and chance my arm as usual. And I could hear these kind of things coming out of you must have had the studio window open, but I could hear somebody was cutting a spot, a 30-second or a 60-second spot, and it was all this. And I thought, that's kind of cool. I never really thought of voiceover. And it just came to me today. And I went, how many of these have I now performed? And the answer is thousands. Thousands of them, starting at the age of 50. Thousands of voiceovers, announcements, audiobooks, promos, film trailers, documentary pieces. It's not that I'm advertising, because I don't have to work if I don't want to work. I'm just letting you know, how life can change. And, so, careful what you wish for, I suppose. And also, recently I learned, now I might have touched on this before, but my podcast, Scary Hour Paranormal Podcast, is a year old this month. And I'm still, I'm still standing. It's whatever, it's still an entity, pardon the pun. What I have learnt from it is I used to want to be centre stage. It had to be me. I'm Kenny Everett, Jerry Ryan, whoever. I'm the man. And as I've gotten older, I'm thinking, hold on, I'm still the man. But I don't want to use the word puppeteer, but I'm the creator, the producer, and I don't mind taking a back seat. In fact, I did a female special in the last Scary Era. Go check it out. You get it on YouTube. Scary Era Paranormal Female. And I said, apart from the intro, I don't want to be the voice. It's a female show. What would they need me? I don't want to do a standard interview. I'll just let their voices speak for themselves. So I was able to, harness all these strings of female voices and let them at it. And that would not have been me even 3 to 5 years ago. I would have had to be giving it that. And I went, you're still giving it, but you're creating it. These musings probably mean nothing to you. But if you're creative, point I'm making is, don't get set in your ways, because your ways, inevitably, with the passing of time, will change. I could have said that at the beginning, but I don't get out much, okay?